How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Rudy Giuliani's New York City apartment being raided by the federales. Now, in my humble opinion, I think this is revenge for the whole Hunter Biden kerfuffle. Okay? Oh, you embarrassed me and you embarrassed my family. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and embarrass you and embarrass your family. It's not about trying to get him arrested, in my humble opinion, because there was no arrest warrant. It was a search warrant. It took out some laptops and whatnot. But before I'll go down that rabbit hole, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you're going to see an outside shot of the apartment. You're not going to see inside. If they release that footage eventually, I'll link to it in the box. But you're going to see the outside, and then you're going to see the news talking about what's going on here. After we get done watching that, I'll come back. Then I give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Federal authorities who executed this search warrant in this building behind me actually have now left the scene. According to multiple reports and a confirmation now that we've received from Mr. Giuliani's attorney, the federal authorities did search his home, and apparently they did take away several electronic devices. There are multiple reports that authorities were seeking to look at his phones. This search warrant came about, according to a number of reports, because authorities had been investigating 2 men who are associates of Mr. Giuliani that are now going to be on trial for connected criminal activity, alleged criminal activity, but that got the authorities looking at Mr. Giuliani's role in the Ukraine. Authorities want to know to what, if any extent, Mr. Giuliani may have been lobbying illegally on behalf of the Ukrainian government without notifying the Justice Department. That is a crime. They're also looking, we understand, to determine what, if any, role Mr. Giuliani had in the ouster of the U.S. ambassador in the Ukraine. The ambassador was someone who Mr. Giuliani thought was not serving the interests of Mr. Trump and the Trump administration, and ultimately the ambassador was ousted by Mr. Trump. And the 2 associates, I should very quickly add, Harris, that are going to be on trial for unrelated charges to why we're here today. We're looking at what role Hunter Biden and his father, now the president, may have had with an energy company in the Ukraine. Those 2 associates, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, are going to be on trial sometime in the fall. So, again, exactly what the authorities are looking for, still not entirely clear.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, like I said from the very beginning, it's revenge. He was not arrested, not taken down. He was allowed to stay in their apartment when they did whatever they did. They took out some laptops and little devices, maybe some phones or something like that. And then that's pretty much it. Now, I think Giuliani is a pretty smart guy, right? I don't think he's going to have really sensitive things right in his apartment where he knows the FBI may come and get it. And if he has a phone, I'm sure it has some kind of lock that you're not really going to be able to get through. There was a case a few years back with Apple and a phone that the police wanted to get. They couldn't get access to it because, it was encryption or whatever. And they wanted Apple to go ahead and break that. And they were like, no, we're not going to be able to. I'm not sure if that's still the case or not, meaning can you break into somebody's phone that's locked with their fingerprint or password? But I digress. The whole point is that Giuliani probably has security measures on his personal effects. And then as far as anything, when you're talking about Hunter Biden, if they took a Hunter Biden laptop he may have had laying around the house, I'm sure he has copies. So you're not going to have evidence like that, information like that just vanish into FBI federale land, because let's not forget, Giuliani is the one that broke the whole Hunter Biden story to the world. Now, the FBI were saying that they were looking into already. It was a known thing, but we didn't know about it. And that would have been some good information to have right during the election when Hunter Biden was under investigation, because it wasn't just about Hunter, the son of the vice president, former vice president Joe Biden. It wasn't just about him. It was about Joe Biden himself, because everything that Hunter was doing over in Ukraine, I'll talk about that in a minute, over in Ukraine, Moldova, or wherever he was, Eastern Europe, all over the world, the things China, the things that he was doing over there were directly related to his father, Joe Biden. Okay, because let's just get this clear. When Hunter was over there gallivanting around the world, getting money, getting bags for doing nothing, okay, you're a whole dope fiend, right? You got discharged from the military, I think it was dishonorable, for being a crack smoker. Okay, you're a whole smoker in the military. You got discharged for that. And then a very short time later, like a year or so later, you get on the board of Burisma Holdings, getting paid between $50,000 and $80,000 per month to do what? You are an Ivy League educated lawyer in Hunter Biden. But what experience do you have in oil and gas? Why are you on the board of Burisma Holdings after, again, you were discharged for being a whole crackhead in the military? Huh? The reason why he was on the board, in my humble opinion, is because of the connection to his father, Joe, who at the time was the vice president under Barack Obama. And also, going back to Ukraine before we get to China, Ukraine, there were some funny things going on. Like I said, with Burisma Holdings, that was a Ukrainian company. And at this time, Joe Biden is a special envoy to Ukraine. He had gone back and forth to Kiev, Ukraine many times to do his envoy duties. Now, one time he went there and he threatened Ukraine with not getting like $1 billion in loan guarantees from the U.S. if they did not basically depose, fire, whatever you want to call it, the prosecutor. I think his name was it Victor Shokin? So Joe Biden was over there doing what he was doing. Hunter Biden was over there doing what he was doing. It seems improper. It seems weird. All Giuliani did was just put it to the light. It's like, okay, here's some crack smoking pictures, inappropriate pictures, some weird business dealings. Let's look into it. And they're trying to say that since Giuliani went over to Ukraine and was talking to Shokin, the prosecutor I was talking about, for a documentary for one of these news channels. I don't want to say the wrong news channel. It wasn't Fox. I don't want to say the wrong one, though, so I just won't say it, but it wasn't Fox. He was over there doing a documentary for that, met with Shokin. So they're trying to say that he may have been trying to lobby Ukraine on behalf of the administration when Trump was in office. Just really weird stuff. A lot of these things that they're talking about from TV interviews with Chris Cuomo and whatnot go back to like 2018, 2019. So this is like years ago. I feel like the FBI are spending their resources improperly. You know, they're looking into what Giuliani did while ignoring what Hunter Biden allegedly did. Same thing with Joe Biden, ignoring that, of course, because now the ball's in their court. The FBI, I'm not saying everybody works over there. The guys and girls that are just everyday normies working, that's one thing, but the leadership is something different. I think the leadership is an anti-Trump type thing, a deep tie to the swamp type thing, which is what Joe Biden is, a swamp rat. Same thing with Hunter, even though he's not really in government. They have a deep tie to the swamp, and anything Trump related, they want to attack, which is why they're spending the resources right now trying to attack Giuliani and ignoring Hunter and Joe, and they're also trying to attack the January 6th guys. They're putting up wanted posters of guys right now today. Okay, that happened on January 6th of 2021 this year. We're almost into May, and they're still trying to find guys from January 6th. How about plugging that southern border up and stopping the fentanyl from coming in just willy-nilly? How about that, FBI? But no, we're worried about Giuliani. Now, as I close, I want to say this. I don't think they're going to find anything. Like I said, I don't believe Giuliani is an ignorant person. I think he's able to secure his FX pretty well. And if he has to have anything for, you know, a true purpose, like Hunter's laptop or his phones or whatever, there's going to be copies, there's going to be backups. And he's still in his apartment right now, Giuliani that is, and he does like an at-home podcast type thing. I think he's going to talk about this, maybe not in full detail because there's probably some, you know, pending investigation happening, which it is actually. So he won't go into full detail, but I'm sure he'll speak about it a little bit. Like I said, he's not been arrested. He's not been locked up. And even if this investigation concludes sometime soon, I don't think he's going to go to jail anytime soon or at all, because on what grounds? Lobbying when you shouldn't, how you going to be able to prove that? You're going to have to get him to confess to it, in my humble opinion, and I don't believe he's going to do that. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Giuliani's New York apartment being raided by the federales. Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. Do you think it's just revenge for the whole Hunter Biden thing, for embarrassing the Biden family and potentially maybe disrupting the election and putting a lot of distrust in Americans' hearts? Because when you see something like that, when you see the Hunter Biden tapes, he's getting money with Ukraine, getting money with China, and Joe Biden may be involved, you know, the 5 to 10, 20% for the quote unquote big guy. That's probably Joe. When you see stuff like that, you're like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on with this guy that is in the White House right now? Is he corrupt? Is he legit? What's happening? I think that the FBI, the government in general, are upset. They're triggered. They're butthurt at Giuliani, and they want to just attack him for it. Even if this whole investigation goes nowhere, which it probably won't, they still want to attack him and make his life more difficult to live. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.